Hello, Jacksonites. I fooled you guys. This is not the first Terminator review. I decided to do this as a precursor to that series because I figure all my pre-stream videos are garbage, so I may as well redo also my top 10 pre-stream videos as well. And also, not to mention, I have been in a mood for this actor lately, so... You read the title right. Welcome to my top 12 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And of course, joining me today is none other than Sean from JTISREBORN. Say hello, Shawnee boy.
Hello. I told you I'd be back. It's time to talk about Arnold movies. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this one because Schwarzenegger is my favorite actor, action movie star of all time.
Mine too.
Without a doubt. See, we found something we unanimously agree on.
Unlike us thinking Tim Curry is a good actor, I think he's a terrible actor.
Yeah, I think
he is amazing, a terrible actor.
But you know what? At least we found common ground in something. We love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold is I don't know what my first memory of Schwarzenegger was, but I think it may have been either Predator or Commando.
I'll tell you what mine was soon.
And then I remember I had my dad had this book. It was like The Art of Bodybuilding or something. It was like Arnold's first book he ever did. It was like the original print too, and I read that, and I just wanted to. Obviously, I'm not in that kind of shape now, but I just wanted to be like Arnold. Like Arnold was my idol. I always would just pretend like I was playing playing outside, just kind of recreate his movies and stuff. Like Commando, my cousin and I, we used to play the game where just one of us would be Bennett and the other one would be Matrix, and try and shoot together. And
I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
But yeah, I was on when I was younger, Schwarzenegger was the greatest. I mean, as much that people like Stallone and Willis, nobody had the on-screen presence of Schwarzenegger. I mean,
Stallone comes close nowadays, I think.
Stallone is close, but I don't think Stallone was a different kind of person. Stallone could do the drama better than Schwarzenegger could. With Rocky and that, Stallone was more of the underdog. Arnold was larger than life. You just see this dude and that's the best that he's just the greatest bodybuilder of all time. He just had this on-screen presence, charisma. What?
Debatably the greatest bodybuilder, because there's also Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, but Schwarzenegger would psych out Lou Ferrigno and beat him almost every time. So I've met Lou Ferrigno. Dude's pretty tall. He's about an inch taller than me. So
I've talked to him a couple times.
You what?
I've talked to Lou Ferrigno a couple times.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was him, and there was Frank Columbo. I watched the Pumping Iron documentary a few times.
I like to see that.
Oh yeah, there's one part of the Pumping Iron documentary where Arnold is just it was talking about the pump you get. He's like, it is as satisfying to me as coming is, having sex with the woman and coming. Get out there, I get the feeling of coming in the gym. I get the feeling of coming at home. When I pump up before everyone, so I'm coming day and night. It is fantastic. Arnold's the best. He's funny. He's badass. He's just an amazing dude. What else was I going to say about Arnold? There's just so much to say. So many great movies, classics. He surrounded himself with the best people to help with his career. Fucking Arnold's just the man. I'm trying to think.
Though it has done some questionable things over the years.
Oh yeah, just ask his ex-wife.
Both of his ex-wives.
Oh yeah. Maria.
And yeah, a lot of people say that he can't act for shit and he can't keep his dick in his pants, which I disagree with the acting. And as far as keeping his dick in his pants, and I would say, yeah, he probably should, but he's a guy with a lot of money. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Like he should just go around and screw every female that he thinks is hot, as long as he wasn't married and as long as he's doing it responsibly. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different topic. Before we get onto the list, I do want to ask you, what do you think is Arnold's absolute worst movie?
The Villain, without question, The Villain. It's a movie from I don't know if it's 1979 or something. It's got him. It's got Kirk Douglas and Margaret, I believe. I own this movie. It is awful. It's Arnold. He doesn't have his normal on-screen presence or anything like that. It's Kirk Douglas trying to stop or something. It's tries to be this lame comedy, and then the end of it ends Looney Tunes style with Kirk Douglas jumping up and down, doing flips all over, and then it ends with that's all flips. It's atrocious. Arnold doesn't even have his on-screen presence or any witty one-liners. He just sits in a carriage the whole time and does nothing worthwhile. It is terrible. I mean, Hercules in New York is at least kind of funny. It's Hercules goes there, he dishes.
See, that's what I think is his worst movie. I think his worst movie is Hercules Takes New York.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too.
What really kills it is the dub for Arnold.
I've seen it with his actual voice though, so because that's been released since the original.
I'm sure it's just as cringy as the dub.
Oh yeah, Arnold was not very good, but he got better for sure. Arnold, you look at his early work compared to where he was mid '80s, in crime film, Terminator, he fits that role so good.
Well, it also helped he didn't speak very much in that film.
Mm-hmm. Even when he spoke, in Terminator 2, I think Terminator 2 is his best performance of the series. But I mean, he's still good in 3 and Genesis. Salvation is just
Salvation. He's not in Salvation.
No, they just used his likeness.
Yeah. So let's get on with the list. You may go first because I know you have 3 honorable mentions because you wanted to make this a top 15.
Okay, because I'm such a huge Schwarzenegger fan, it was really tough for me to put this list together. Because really 12 and 13 I really wanted to talk about. So I'm going to give these honorable mentions. In 15th, I'm going to go with The Last Stand. I saw this movie in theaters and I watched it once afterwards, but I genuinely really enjoyed it. It was a great throwback Schwarzenegger film. It was his first leading role in years, and I really had a good time with it. And 14, I wanted to put Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. Third best of the Terminator franchise. Still like the movie. Don't like it quite as much as 1 or 2, but it's still pretty solid. And then this is really tough to choose between 12 and 13 because I really want to talk about both these movies, but just objectively, I had to place this one at 13 as opposed to the other one. But in 13th place, I'm going to go with Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin, one of my favorite guilty pleasure films of all time. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze. It's so...
Come on, sing. Louder, come on, sing, 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 sing.
He's Mr. White Christmas. He's Mr. Snow. Batman Robin is still my least favorite Batman movie of the 4 Warner Brothers ones from that
era. It's my favorite Batman movie of the 4 Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers?
Well, yeah, the Batman, the 4 Warner Brothers Batman movies is from 89 to Batman and Robin. So my favorite is obviously 89. That's my second favorite film. Sometimes my favorite film of all time.
Crap.
I just love her. I love everything about that movie.
Don't.
So, well, good for you, Nick.
And yes, Jacksonites, I am keeping my shades on for this entire vid because Arnold is my idol, and the most famous film franchise that he's known for is of course, Terminator. And it's also going to be for Halloween, so I'm going to keep my shades on the whole video.
Okay. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. So you want me to start with 12, or do you want to go 12?
I'll go 12.
You go ahead.
Yeah. So with all that being said, Jacksonites, let's begin, shall we? So my number 12 is a movie that I kind of feel like doesn't really get enough recognition in Arnold's filmography. Well, actually, 12 and 11 are both movies that I feel don't get enough recognition. But 12 is Kindergarten Cop.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The potty pooper.
Who the hell are you, man?
I'm Detective John Kimball.
I'm the party pooper.
Shut up!
Shut
I
up! So yeah, Kindergarten Cop, one of Arnold's more tame films, even though it does have its moments of being kind of
It is PG-13
gruesome.
though, and you have a bad guy. I always laugh because I impersonate the guy pretty well. He's like, Dominic? Whenever he delivers his lines, I kind of snicker a bit. Because 90s villains had the ponytail.
That dude, yeah.
Dominic? I'm your father, Dominic.
So yeah, what is it one of Arnold's best movies? No. But if you want to look at Arnold's comedy films, which there's not that many, there's Jingle All the Way, there's Twins, there's the one where Arnold gets pregnant, and there's this movie. Haven't seen Twins, haven't seen Jingle All the Way, and I haven't seen the one where he gets pregnant.
Don't watch Junior. It's pretty
Junior,
bad.
that was it. I've heard that.
There's one part where you see a CGI Arnold's baby face, and it's terrifying. He's like, Mama!
I've heard,
It's like
some
Arnold
people say it's okay, but also a lot of people do say, yeah, it's not that good.
No,
So,
Junior is definitely a waste of time. The other ones are pretty good, though.
So of the 4 comedy Arnold movies, obviously I've only seen Kindergarten Cop. So Arnold is a comedy actor. He shows promise. So yeah, I do like Kindergarten Cop. It's a fun film. Again, it's not one of his best movies, but I still do enjoy it. So what's your number 12?
Number 12, like I said, this was tough between this and Batman and Robin. I chose Conan the Barbarian, the first Conan movie.
That was his first. That was his breakout role.
That was his breakout role. People like to think it's the Terminator that was his breakout role. It was actually Conan the Barbarian.
Even though both movies came out the same year.
Yeah, but Conan was like first. Then he did Conan the Destroyer shortly afterwards.
So that movie's
and
crap.
Then he did Red Sonja. Oh, Conan the Destroyer is awful. Like, Conan the Destroyer sucks. I liked it when I was younger. Rewatching it recently for like my Arnold challenge I'm doing with my friend. I'm like, this just sucks. And then Red Sonja is also pretty terrible.
Red Sonja is horrible. I don't really consider that a Schwarzenegger movie, even though he's in it.
He's the second leading character in the movie. Red Sonja, Arnold said as a joke, like to his kids, he would, as punishment, he would send Red Sonja.
He would lock him in a room, and he'd force his kids to watch Red Sonja 10 times in a row. And then he also says, my kids don't give me too much trouble.
High Rise Kaiju Productions. Actually, you're not too late. My 12 was Conan the Barbarian, and his was
Kindergarten Cop.
So it was really just our Arnold intros. Oh, and one more thing about Arnold. He has the best movie commentary of all time. Oh my God! If you ever want a good laugh, watch the commentaries, the movie commentaries Arnold does, because it's just him describing what's about to happen. Nothing's like, this is the fantastic scene where I did this and then that. I'm like,
I've heard 2 Arnold commentaries for Conan the Barbarian and Terminator 3. I enjoy both.
I love the Arnold commentaries. There's one for Total Recall. It's amazing.
I kind of tried to watch that, but Paul Verhoeven's accent was so thick, I could not take the commentary seriously, so I just passed.
Yeah, but Arnold was worth it for me. But yeah, like 12 plays Conan the Barbarian, fantastic musical score. That main Conan theme is like do 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 do, like that theme is epic, and I really want them to do a third Conan movie with him. Like maybe his final stand moment, they play the classic Conan theme, and it's like it'd be like a perfect closing to like that character.
Sean and I discussed this not too long ago. Give it the Logan treatment.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Like give it the Logan treatment. Have make Conan make his final stand, and then triumphantly you hear that Conan theme the final time, and then it's like that was the Legend of Conan. I'm like, that would be the perfect way to close out the Conan series. So, but that's my number 12, Conan the Barbarian. James Earl Jones is really good as the villain too. He turns into a snake, which is weird, but Arnold's badass. His acting isn't the strongest, but he doesn't need to talk as much. He just needs to kind of just have that physical presence, which he has. So, and I have a Conan sword, which is pretty cool too. So.
Yep. So my number 11 is once again a movie that I think really doesn't gain as much attention as it deserves. And that is Sabotage. Sorry, my mom just texted me. Yeah, Sabotage. Now, once again, like with Kindergarten Cop, is it one of Arnold's best movies? Not quite. A little bit more than Kindergarten Cop. But I mean, I saw the trailers for Sabotage. I saw a little bit of the hype, and I was a little interested, but I actually didn't get around to watching Sabotage until after Decker Shadow did his Summer of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I think it was like about 4 months ago when I finally got around to seeing Sabotage, and I went into the movie with not really low expectations, but not really high ones either. And I came out of the movie pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a really interesting film for Arnold to do. I think it's the only movie where Arnold legitimately plays an anti-hero.
Yeah, I guess so too.
Even though you could kind of say he's an anti-hero in End of Days. But I think Arnold plays an anti-hero pretty well. I like how violent the film is. Like, I did not expect the movie to be as violent as it is when I went in to see it.
David Ayer, so it's pretty violent.
Though Decker Shadow mentioned this in his review that apparently the movie was originally supposed to be 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see the 3 hour long cut, but still in its current form, I do like Sabotage. I think it's a violent, gritty movie. It's different for Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not quite like Arnold Schwarzenegger still plays a gun-toting badass, but he portrays a gritty, almost unlikable, gritty, violent badass. So
yeah,
that's
none
cool.
of the characters are really too likable in that movie, except for Arnold. I guess the only scene I like in that movie is where he's getting interrogated and he's like, "Don't fucking scream at me, you dumb fuck you." Like, that scene made me laugh, but other than that, I was just like, I was so on Sabotage.
And also, is it one of Arnold's best movies? Not exactly, no. But is it one of his more unique movies? Yes. And that's I think that's part of the reason why I do like Sabotage as much as I do.
Okay.
So what is your number 11?
In number 11, I'm going to go with the underrated movie, which should have done well if not for another movie that came out in the year 1993 that just blew up the world, Last Action Hero. Now, Last Action Hero has an amazing concept for a film. It's about this kid named Danny who gets a magic movie ticket and gets sucked inside of a Schwarzenegger movie where everything is really ridiculous. It was directed by John McTiernan, I believe, who also directed,
Predator.
What was it? Predator?
And Commando, I think.
Hard. And then after that, he did Rollerball, okay, never mind. But yeah, Last Action Hero, I remember seeing this for the first time. This is actually really good. There's some really funny jokes in there. There's a scene where he goes into the movie store and he sees the one kid's show me the Schwarzenegger movies, and then he looks for a poster for Terminator 2, and instead of Schwarzenegger, it's Stallone.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
That one's pretty funny. There's some over the top action movie stuff in there, but it's done intentionally as a joke. There's some pretty ridiculous things in the movie. Danny DeVito plays a talking cartoon cat for some reason, and then there's a really great sequence where Arnold meets himself, the character, and Jack Slater runs into Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is kind of clueless, and Jack Slater is just he's shut up, you brought me nothing but pain. And it has such a clever idea that I'm amazed nobody ever really takes this idea of going into different movies and bringing characters out of film into reality. I'm Last Action, because they teased at the end of the movie where the villain's you want me to get King Kong? You want me to get Dracula? And I'm yeah, that sounds pretty cool, but unfortunately they didn't do that. But it has a great concept for a movie. The concept is genius. It's if you ever want to have the craziest crossover of all time, just go to the Last Action Hero concept.
Or Ready Player One.
Ready Player One had that similar concept, but it wasn't quite the same, just in video game form. But it's not like they took the characters from that series who stayed as their characters and such. But yeah, Last Action Hero I think is pretty great. Definitely some funny moments and some definitely Schwarzeneggerisms, and like they even make fun of the "I'll be back" thing, where the kid Arnold's like in the movie he talks to the kid, he's just like, "I'll be back." Hi, I bet you didn't know I was going to say that. Like the kid's like, "You always say that. We're just waiting for you to work it in somewhere." And I think there was like one other part where he's just like, "Rubber baby buggy bumpers." Bet you didn't know I was going to say that. I was like, "No, I didn't." But yeah, so like I think the movie's funny. It's done over the top in the movie world intentionally, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm kind of surprised it's not as highly rated as it is. So
you'll be surprised that I actually have not seen Last Action Hero still to this day.
Oh, I think you dig it. I think you would.
Is it R or PG-13?
It's PG-13.
Oh shit! Then I'm not interested.
No. They make
I'm not interested.
Too. They make a joke about that too, where the kid's just like, "Go ahead and say it." And I was like, "Grow up." He's like, "You can't say that because it's a PG-13 movie, bitch."
Oh shit! Where is it? Oh fucking! I can't find it.
I think you should give it a chance. I think
not interested.
With an open mind.
Nope.
You're missing classic Schwarzenegger.
I've seen all of classic Schwarzenegger. What the hell are you talking about, boy?
You're missing the last classic Schwarzenegger film.
No, that's Terminator 3. Or that too.
Yeah. Well, like before, like he did his 90s like thriller stint. So, but I think you definitely need to check out Last Action Hero.
Not interested. So, my number 10, Conan the Barbarian.
Good choice.
So kind of like what Sean said, the movie has a fantastic musical score. I like the violent tone of the film. I like the mystical elements of the film. Nick, I'll watch King Kong Escapes if you watch it. I have seen King Kong Escapes multiple times. So yeah, it's got a great score. It's really violent. The action scenes are great.
Score 2.
I already said that. The characters are decent. I do wish that Conan spoke just a little bit more in the film. And that's actually maybe my only issue with the movie is that Arnold doesn't speak much. But then I also realized and the director says this in the commentary for the film that Conan's not really a speaker. He's more of a thinker, and he kind of embodies the phrase "actions speak louder than words," which is all fine and dandy. But I still do wish that Arnold spoke just a little more in the film. Actually, I think he might speak less than he does in Terminator. It's debatable, though.
I feel like he did speak more. Maybe that's Conan the Destroyer. But even then, Conan the Destroyer...
No, he spoke quite a bit in The Destroyer. That movie's garbage.
Yeah, Destroyer is pretty bad. I watched it like last year, and I was like, or maybe the beginning of this year it was. I'm like, ugh. I like the first movie. The second one, it was PG, and he fights that monster with the horn.
Yeah, it was piss poor. But yeah, so Conan the Barbarian, great movie, great breakout role for Arnold. Even though technically Hercules in New York was in 1978, I think. Technically, Conan was his breakout film, and what a way to break out in the Hollywood too.
Yep.
So that's my number 10, Conan the Barbarian. What's your number 9?
Oh no, my number 10 actually.
Or number 10, excuse me.
My number 10 is the Christmas classic Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is such a guilty pleasure movie for me. I can't get enough of this movie. I don't know what it is. Like, there's some movies where people are just like, but it's terrible. I'm like, I know it's stupid, but I fucking love this movie. There's some legit really funny stuff in here. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays like Howard, and he tries to get his son Jamie a Turbo Man for Christmas. And this movie perfectly captures what Christmas is all about. It's all about materialism. And then you have Arnold going on this adventure with Sinbad, and he's just trying to get this fucking toy. Phil Hartman's moving in on his wife, and Phil Hartman's being Phil Hartman at his best. And you have the infamous "put that cookie down" scene.
Put that cookie down now.
He's like, Langston residence. And I was like, oh, hello, Ted? He's like, Howard, hey, buddy, how's it going? Oh, your wife Liz is taking up a storm in here. Oh, these cookies. He's just rubbing it in that he's spending the day with his wife because he's such a slime ball. And then put that cookie down. No. God, I love that movie. Phil Hartman, rest in peace. And then you have Sinbad in there. There's one really great scene where they go to this radio station. Arnold's trying to like break into it to like get like a turbo van, but he just gets a certificate. And then the police show up because they're like they thought it was like a hostage situation. And then Sinbad's like pulls out a package. He's like, "Hey, it's a bomb, you guys." But like earlier in the movie they set it up where it was like a fake package. But Sinbad thinks plays it off like it's a fake package because he doesn't know that it's actually a bomb. And then it blows everyone up. He's like, "Shit, that was an actual bomb." And I thought that was great. And then you have the ridiculous finale where it's just like, we just started out with Arnold missing a kid's karate class, and now he's flying around in a jetpack as Turbo Man having a fight scene in the middle of like the longest sunny day in winter history. It's so hokey. It's so ridiculous. It's so cheesy, it's so
I actually also have not seen Jingle All the Way.
It is. Jim Belushi's in the movie too, and like he fights the thing a bunch of Santa Clauses. It's so stupid, but I love it for its stupidity. Bye, Raju Kaiju, but that's just me.
Well then, so my number 9 is Total Recall.
Ooh.
I put Total Recall kind of low on the list because, well, I do love the film, and I think it's one of Arnold's best movies. I also think it's one of Paul Verhoeven's best films. I don't have as much nostalgia for Total Recall as much as I do other Arnold movies. I actually didn't see Total Recall until I was about 17 years old. I for some reason, I just kind of avoided the movie for the longest time. There's just something about the movie that just put me off. And I thought it was a little too similar to The Sixth Day, which I also still have not seen. Though apparently the two movies are not even remotely similar. But then I finally decided, you know what? I'm in a bit of an Arnold mood, but I want something new. So my stepdad had Total Recall on hand, and I said, I'll get Total Recall a shot. And boy, did I kick myself in the ass and feel like a complete idiot after I finished Total Recall, because damn, was that a good movie.
Oh, yeah. I love Total Recall.
The story is fantastic. The action scenes are great. The gore is great. The characters are awesome. Then again, it's Paul Verhoeven. Of course it's going to be great. Paul Verhoeven is
amazing.
Yeah, he is such an underrated director. He's like an R-rated Richard Donner. Like a purely R-rated Richard Donner. Even though Richard Donner's done R-rated movies before, the Lethal Weapon movies. Mm-hmm. He's like if Richard Donner was purely an R-rated film director. And contrary to popular belief, I actually do like Hollow Man. A lot of people like to shit on Hollow Man. I think it's a fantastic film.
I've not seen Hollow Man.
Great movie.
Seen The Invisible Man. Never seen Hollow Man.
The Invisible Man is garbage.
There's a lot of Invisible Man movies. I like Invisible Man's funny. Then you have Invisible Man Returns, Invisible Man's Revenge, Invisible Woman. There's a lot of old Universal ones out there. But, like pretty much what you said about Total Recall is pretty much true. I have it on this list too, but you'll just have to find out when I get to it.
Great film.
Yep. Great movie.
So you're number 9.
So my number 9, Kindergarten Cop. Pretty much all the reasons that Nick just said. It's very funny. There's Arnold being forced to be a teacher with a bunch of kindergartners because he's a larger-than-life person, and just the sheer comedic effect of the situation. Arnold being Arnold, the kids just getting on his nerves. Some classic moments where he's like, "Shut up!
Shut
there
up!
is no bathroom." I think this is Arnold probably at his funniest because he's so mismatched with these kids. some of the funniest lines. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Thanks for the tip.
Your
Stop
uncle's
doing all
a
these
monkey
lunches.
head.
Yep.
It's that same kid, Miko Hughes.
Yep. So pretty much all that Nick said about Kindergarten Cop, I pretty much agree with. Villain, I get cracked up when I see the villain.
I actually think the villain is probably the weakest aspect of the film.
Yeah, he's not the best, but like because of his voice, the way he delivers his lines. Dominic, hey buddy, what are you doing?
That's why I was thinking of the Lethal Weapon TV show. He's in one episode.
Oh,
The actor who plays the villain in Kindergarten Cop is in an episode of Lethal Weapon. Anyway, so yeah, Kindergarten Cop's great. I actually don't own Kindergarten Cop, surprisingly.
You don't own it?
I don't own it.
Nuh-uh. Like Arnold pack of movies or something.
So my number 8 is The Last Stand. I actually don't really remember all the hype that surrounded the last. Okay, no. I saw a couple of the trailers for The Last Stand, and when I saw the image of the Mexican dude holding the Conan sword, I thought it was going to be one of those movies where because Arnold's in it, it's going to be one of those where there's just a lot of references, huh?
Where it's just like a parody of Arnold movies.
Yeah, where there's a shit ton of references to older Arnold movies. Which I was still kind of interested in that, but I went in The Last Stand and I was very pleasantly surprised. The film was pretty gory, not insane, like not Sabotage level of gory, but surprisingly violent. The characters were funny. The action scenes were good. Overall, I went into The Last Stand not expecting much, and I came out of it pleasantly surprised. Can we please get a sequel?
Unfortunately, it didn't make as much money. So.
Fuckers.
Damn it. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, Arnold's back. Because I was so excited to see a Schwarzenegger movie on the big screen.
And one of my favorite lines from the movie, what in God's name happened to my car? Next time, don't park in the fire zone. Schmuck. Cracks me up every time I see that movie.
Fucked up my day.
Wait, hang on. You're glitching out there, Sean.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid Schwarzenegger film.
Okay, there you go. You fucked up my car.
Kind of like a return to form.
Fucked up my day off.
Yeah, I realized that.
Hang on, Sean. You're glitching out. Let your
glitching out. You the video chat fucked up the. Yep. So, that was your number 8, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, like The Last Stand is a pretty.
You're still glitching out, Sean.
I'm trying to fix this. Hang on.
Call ended. Hang on, Jacksonites. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties.
All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
There we go.
Now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Sometimes shit happens. Anyways, I guess I'll go to my number 8 since you got yours done. Or do you have anything else left to say about The Last Stand?
Nah, Last Stand. It's another movie that I think is pretty unappreciated in Arnold's filmography, though it's not quite as much as Sabotage. But still, it's a fun film. Not a bad movie at all.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. For my number 8, I have Twins. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. This is the first time. This is Arnold's first mainstream comedy. And Arnold Schwarzenegger has gone on record to say that Twins is his favorite movie that he's ever done. In fact, they're supposed to be doing a sequel with Eddie Murphy. I heard it's called Triplets, and I have no idea what's going on with that one. But I think Twins is a very funny movie. Arnold plays Julius, and Arnold is extremely likable in this movie. And you pair him up with Danny DeVito as kind of this slime ball, they play like twin brothers who were separated at birth. You know, Arnold was treated with royalty, kind of, where he was kind of kept from society. Danny DeVito plays Vincent. He's just like the slime ball. They get caught up in like, you know, this plot about stealing something that's worth a lot of money. Arnold is kind of like a fish out of water. They both find like people that they're in love with. They fall in love with and stuff. And, you know, it's just a fun time. Them kind of, you know, reacclimating to each other, finding their mom and stuff, getting along. It's just kind of like, you know, a mismatched pair movie. And it's just kind of like, it's just a really likable movie. Like Arnold is like, I think it's probably his most likable role he's in. Not that I don't enjoy him in like his action movies, but if you're just like just all around like good, wholehearted person, I think Twins is like Arnold Schwarzenegger at his most like, you know, aspirational, I should say. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints about Twins. It's just a really funny movie. Arnold is badass as usual. He does throw a couple ribs in there at Stallone. Like there's a part where he's walking down the street and he sees a picture of like, you know, I think like a poster for like Rambo, like flexing his muscles, and Arnold looks at his muscles, looks at Stallone's, and he looks back at his and he laughs to make fun of like, oh please. So like they would always do playful like, you know, jabs at each other because they're really good friends. But I definitely think Twins is a very funny movie and definitely one of my favorite Schwarzenegger films.
I also have not seen Twins.
Wow, there's you got to see that. You got to see Last Action. You got to see Jingle All the Way. I know, like I'm not interested, but
not interested.
Give it a shot. Sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit.
I'm gonna use that phrase from now on. So my number 7 is also a movie that I feel doesn't really get enough praise, even though it has its fans. But it still also does have a lot of haters, and that is Terminator 3.
I am a machine.
Desire is irrelevant. I am a machine.
So yeah, Terminator 3. It's debatable. It kind of goes back and forth with Salvation and 3 on which is my least favorite Terminator film. But I ultimately still do think that it probably will go to Salvation every day. But
Salvation is my least favorite Terminator film.
I mean, I like all Terminator movies, but Salvation is the one that I find myself going back to the least. Terminator 3 is kind of close behind that, but I still do highly, highly enjoy Terminator 3. I think it's a little underrated. It's got great action scenes, absolutely spectacular action scenes. It's got a great audio commentary, really good special effects,
and a great deleted scene.
Being what?
Hey, it's me. Where they showed Arnold, where he just like, and they dubbed him over. You ever saw that scene?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god! It's like where they're creating like the person who they model is after. And Arnold
wait, no, I have seen that. Yep.
Whoa, it's me.
That's pretty cringy.
It was cringy, but it was great.
But yeah, Terminator 3, pretty underrated movie. Does it have its flaws? Yes. I'm not going to delve into them too much because I'll be reviewing Terminator 3 next week. But still, I do like Terminator 3. It's a great movie, great Arnold movie. And I still find it hard to believe that Arnold was 56 years old when he did Terminator 3. And he still looked fantastic.
Dude he hit the gym harder than he ever did. I heard he said, like trying to like stay in that Terminator shape.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was basically like his swan song. I think that's what the big deal about it was like it was Arnold's swan song from acting. So it was a good one to go out on. Although I do think like it's a good sequel. It didn't necessarily have to happen because Terminator 2 wrapped up the story.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, this is one problem that I will say right here is that it is a rehash of Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm. Except they just fused the villains from 1 and 2 together.
Kind of.
With tits.
A nice pair of tits. Anyway, so yeah, Terminator 3, fun film. What is your number 7?
Number 7, speaking of Terminator, I put The Terminator at number 7. It's the first time, it's the first film in the Terminator series. Arnold Schwarzenegger, on top of Conan the Barbarian, this is the film that made him a star. Fantastic movie, great direction by James Cameron, back when James Cameron made good movies.
He still does make good movies. What the fuck are you talking about?
I can't stand Titanic. It's one of my least favorite big movies of all time. I don't like Avatar. I can't.
I am this close from bumping you out of my video, boy.
Oh yeah, but no, well, I like this, or I don't really care for it. But fucking Avatar sucks.
It's my all-time favorite movie, so tread lightly, boy.
It's garbage. Same with Titanic, just ass. But
Tim Curry is ass.
You know, the way you feel about Tim Curry is how I feel about, Avatar and Titanic times 1,000.
No, that's Batman.
What?
No, that's Batman.
Whatever. I don't like those movies. But let's talk about some good James Cameron stuff. So the Terminator. I mean, the plot is interesting. A robot a cyborg from the future comes back to hunt down the mom of the future leader to save the world. Yada yada yada. So they got their Sarah Connor. Linda Hamilton plays Sarah Connor. She's pretty vulnerable in the first movie. The second movie, she's tough. Has PTSD and all sorts
major
of
PTSD. That seems to be a recurring theme for female characters in James Cameron sequels. Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley both have massive PTSD in Terminator 2 and Aliens.
So is Neytiri going to have PTSD in Avatar 2?
It very well could be possible.
Is the running thing in Cameron sequels PTSD? Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, she watched her father die in front of her. It would make sense.
Yeah, that's true. But I can't stand Jake Sully. Couldn't even just talk to the fucking. No, I'm getting off track. This is supposed to be a positive video about our love for Schwarzenegger. So, but yeah, Terminator's a pretty awesome movie. Great, score. Kyle Reese is pretty good.
Is it dated? Yes.
Yes, definitely very 80s. Terminator 2 isn't really dated to me, but the first one,
Terminator 2 is very timeless.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is very timeless. Terminator 1, it's definitely an 80s time piece.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad thing.
It's as good as what?
Well, 99.9% of the time, it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. But I guess in a way, it's kind of supposed to be some of the effects are definitely dated, the stop motion.
Actually, I think there's two aspects of the effects that I think don't hold up. Well, kind of three. One being the stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
And I say kind of because the stop motion looks good, but it's just the only shot where I could not tell for the longest time that it was stop motion was the first the first stop motion shot they used when the TA-100 was walking out of the fire. Mm-hmm. I thought that was an animatronic for a long time. It's that seamless. To me, at least, it's that seamless.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stop motion shots they use, it's obvious stop motion. But again, it's good. But actually, hang on, I'm getting off topic. I'll I want to save my thoughts on that for Saturday.
Okay, but yeah, the first Terminator movie, it's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Great
Arnold
movie. It's the only movie that Arnold is a villain in that I accept him as a villain. I like him as a hero, but for the first Terminator, I'll take him as a villain.
Batman and Robin, he's the villain.
Okay, so make that two.
Okay.
Well, no, I don't really consider Mr. Freeze to be a villain.
We go forever here in Gotham. He was the villain in Around the World in 80 Days.
Was he really?
But yes, he is. He is he plays this prince. He's kind of like a side villain in the movie, and he's just please don't touch my statues of me. But that's Around the World in 80 Days. But Terminator, there's just a lot of pros to that movie. I mean, what's been said has been said multiple occasions. Usually, what you heard that's good about it is pretty good. Fuck you, asshole. Is probably my favorite moment in the movie.
Can in there or what?
Yeah, good stuff.
Fuck you, asshole.
All right, so that was my number 7.
So
Since I rewatched Terminator, I'll have to rewatch it again.
my number 6, The First Predator.
Awesome movie.
You may ask me why it's so low on the list. That's because from here on out, these 6 Arnold movies are my absolute favorite Arnold movies. So these ones are in no particular, well, kind of they're no in particular order. Number 1 is my absolute favorite Arnold movie of all time, and I could watch that again and again and again and again and again and never get tired of it. But still, from here on out is when the movies get really good. So, of course, Predator.
The thing about it, too, is, like, as you were saying, Nick, like, it's not like we don't, like, really dislike it. They're so good that it's really hard to choose.
So anyway, yeah, The First Predator. I'm not going to say too much about it because I have a full review where I kiss this movie's ass. But love The First Predator. Kick-ass movie, great special effects, great scares, even though they're better in 2, but great special effects. I said that already. Great action scenes, great dialogue, great characters. Overall, the movie's great. Nothing else to say. Moving on.
All right, so number 6 for me is The Running Man. Have you seen this one?
I have not. I don't really want to.
Running Man is fucking hilarious. Running Man is like Battle Royale in the Hunger Games before they, came to be. Based on the Richard Bachman books, which is actually a pen name that Stephen King had when somebody like spent years later trying to figure it out and figured out it was him. So basically the concept of The Running Man is Arnold played this guy named Ben Richards, who was a helicopter pilot who got blamed for massacring a bunch of people, when in reality he's just like, he didn't want to open fire on all these civilians. He gets captured, he escapes this prison, and he gets captured again, puts on this Running Man TV show, and Arnold has to survive basically a night in hell, and he goes up against these gladiator type characters, or the stalkers as they call them, and they're all really over the top. It's like an over the top look at the future, and Arnold is like a one-line quip machine, times 1,000 in this movie. This is like Schwarzenegger at his most quippiest, I'd want to say. He's like, here's some zero, now claim zero. And then he fights this guy named Dynamo, he fights Buzzsaw, and there's cut some dude in half. They're like, what happened to Buzzsaw? Oh, he had to split. So, and then my favorite, and then you have who Richard Dawson plays the villain, the Family Feud guy or whatever. He plays the villain in the movie. He's this eccentric game show host, and he's so good as the villain. And you just want to kind of spit on the screen when you see him. And when Arnold tries to get his get back at him later in the movie, it's so satisfying to see him. He's just I think I gave the audience exactly what they want, and he just drops them down like this shaft and he blows up.
Oh, like Commando?
It's not, yeah, it's like Commando when Bennett.
Remember, Sally, when I promised not to kill you last?
That's
I
right,
lied.
You did. Yeah. Although it's a lot more. We'll get to Commando too.
Cracks up. That
soon.
Scene cracks me and my friend Grayson up to no end every time we watch that movie.
Commando is one of my favorite films, but we'll get to that one soon. Oh, fuck. I love The Running Man. It's the leotards in the movie are so ridiculous. I think my favorite line in the whole movie is where Killian's just like, Ben, you're pretty good. How about I give you an ironclad contract so you can, stay on The Running Man with me? And Arnold's like, you cold-blooded bastard. I'll tell you what I think of your contracts. I live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram into your stomach and break your goddamn spine. And he just smashes the camera. And Arnold is fucking awesome in that movie. You got to check out The Running Man. It's one of his best 80s movies.
No.
Oh, fuck, you're missing out. Jesse Ventura's in it, too.
I'd rather watch Predator.
Predator's great. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Predator, but I think you should give it a shot. Damn it, Nick. Expand your horizon.
No.
I'm afraid I can't watch this, but I'll watch Gamera Super Monster.
So my number 5 is the first Terminator. We already pretty much talked about this. Great effects. Arnold is awesome. The characters are great. Action is great. The tone is really gritty and nasty. Need I say more? Let's move on. Your number 5.
My number 5, True Lies. My last aka James Cameron's last good movie, in my opinion. I know Nick feels differently. Go ahead and flip me up. That's right. Take those middle fingers, turn them some bitches sideways, and stick them straight up your candy ass. True Lies is a great movie. It's Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis, husband and wife. Arnold's like a spy. She doesn't know it. Bill Paxton, I think, is the real standout of this movie, though. He plays Simon. He plays this sleazy used car salesman who pretends he's like some secret agent to try and hook up with Arnold's wife. And Bill Paxton is one of the most underappreciated actors of all time. Every time he's in a movie, he's pretty much great.
He hams it the fuck up.
He hams it the fuck up.
Probably his most hammiest performance has got to be Aliens.
Oh, Aliens, he's fucking amazing. Game over, man.
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do?
My parent. What is 5P himself, man?
Get the fuck out.
I got a little dick. It's pathetic.
Get lost, dipshit. That scene cracks me up every time. Watching him do the gun dance.
Oh, yeah. It was like him, and then Tom Arnold's like, he's a used car salesman. I'm really starting to like this guy.
This just keeps getting better and better. I'm sorry, Harry. I know it's got to be painful
that was
for
James Cameron's last fun movie.
No.
Because Titanic's like a drama. Avatar is
awesome.
More serious.
Avatar has humor in it.
Not to the extent of True Lies, though.
True, but it's a different kind of humor.
I see what you did there. True. But yeah, True Lies is great. It kind of made me a man in a way when I saw the scene in the hotel room. So.
Well, my number 4 is also True Lies. So let's transition to me. Fun fact, that hotel room, when Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, does the famous striptease, they actually had to CGI out her legs because she had really noticeable veins, I think, and stretch marks all over her legs. And she didn't want to have that be shown on screen. So she asked James Cameron, look, I'll do this scene, but you got to CGI out my legs. And
I never would have thought that.
That's pretty seamless.
Mm-hmm.
My only not really gripe, but this is something I do notice with True Lies, is that it's a pretty tame R-rated film.
Yeah, there's really maybe a little bit of language.
There's not much language, no. I think they only say fuck at best 10 times in the film.
I also love how they make fun of terrorists too. I think they just had a good laugh because these are just bad guys. They're just making fun. The dude with the video camera and the part where Arnold, the most ridiculous death in a Schwarzenegger movie, the final villain, probably the most satisfying one.
Yeah, fired.
That's great. That's so great. I want to have fun like that again, with hokey action movies, because we don't get action movies anymore. We have, except for John Wick, that's really good. Because we have superhero movies. I don't really call those the action genre. But True Lies, it's I feel like that's the last classic Schwarzenegger film.
I still say it's Terminator 3, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, True Lies, great film. One of James Cameron's best movies. Good humor, great action, great special effects. Overall, kick-ass. So moving on, my number 3.
Did you do? No, I didn't get to do 4 yet.
Oh wait, no, did you? Okay, no. What's your number 4?
My number 4, Terminator 2: Judgment Day. This is the best in the Terminator franchise. Arnold goes from being a villain to being a hero. You have Robert Patrick as the T-1000 as the villain. We get John Connor, played by Everett Furlong. Sarah Connor. It evolves the story forward. Has some tremendous action sequences. Great musical score, and some really touching moments between the Terminator and John Connor. And I especially love the ending where he gives the thumbs up as he meets his end. And honestly, if we never got another Terminator movie after that, I'd feel pretty satisfied, because I feel like it wraps the story up perfectly. And as much as, even though I enjoyed Terminator 3, I don't like the idea of Judgment Day is inevitable. So it kind of demeans...
Me neither. I think that's the movie's
Like,
biggest
the second
problem.
movie. Yeah, it kind of demeans like what the end of the second film felt like. It's just like it's just never gonna end. And I don't know what Terminator 6 is gonna do. I think they're starting a new Terminator trilogy or something. But I do want.
Actually, no. I've heard claims that Cameron is officially ending the series with Terminator.
Okay.
My only real gripe is I really wish, or I really hope that Arnold's Terminator is not a villain again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of feel like, Arnold being a villain, now we've come to expect Arnold be the hero. So I feel like to have the series begin with Arnold as a villain, have it end with him as a villain, it's not my taste. I want to see hero Arnold, please, for the last outing.
Exactly.
Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, pretty much everything people say about Terminator 2. It's one of the best sequels ever made. It's just a phenomenal film, and definitely one of Schwarzenegger's best. As much as I like it, there's just 3 more that I have in just a slightly higher regard, but we'll get to those in a second. So go ahead, Nick. What are your top 3?
My number 3, Terminator Genesis.
Oh, wow. I mean, I feel like Genesis is pretty underrated.
I think Genesis is the most underrated of the entire franchise thus far. I really don't understand why so many people just viciously shit on Genesis.
I think it's that trailer that spoiled everything.
I really don't give a fuck. I loved Genesis. The T-3000, oh my god, is he scary as fuck. The action scenes, awesome. All the recreations of the first Terminator, awesome. All the callbacks to previous Terminator films, awesome. The humor, hilarious. The acting, awesome. Arnold himself, awesome. I love Terminator Genesis. I think it is, again, the most underrated Terminator film of the entire, not just of the entire Terminator franchise. I think it's one of the top 5 most underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I love Genesis. It's one of my most fond memories of seeing a movie in theaters.
Yeah, I think that's the last Schwarzenegger film I saw in theaters. Has it been 3 years since Genesis? Dang. Oh, wow.
Moving on. You're number 3?
Number 3, I'm going to go with Total Recall, one of my favorite Paul. This and RoboCop are my 2 favorite Paul Verhoeven movies. RoboCop
and Total Recall are pretty damn neck and neck. Though I probably would have to give it to Total Recall only because some of the special effects in RoboCop are pretty bad.
Yeah, but RoboCop has they both have the same corporate villain played by
shit. What the hell is his name?
We have to look this up. I'll be home in time for cornflakes. Cohagen, and he's Dick Jones. You just fucked with the wrong guy. Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ronnie Cox. Although like they both have kind of like that, and like the side villain, the secondary villain in like Total Recall is played by Michael Ironside, great actor. Also appears in Verhoeven's Starship Troopers, a very funny movie. And then
awesome movie.
Kurtwood Smith in RoboCop as Clarence Boddicker is one of my favorite villains of all time because he's such a piece of shit. Like, you just want to spit on the screen, but he's so good at it.
Very, very despicable piece of shit.
See, that's what I feel like movies are missing now. Really despicable piece of shit villains that are funny and entertaining, like to watch, to go along with them on their like ride of being an asshole. But like when they get their comeuppance at the end, it's very satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Total Recall, great storyline, very creative, and like the ending is open ended.
I will give a movie credit for if its plot makes me like it gets me on the edge of my seat, wondering what the hell.
Mm-hmm.
I will give movie massive credit. And that Total Recall did that to me a number of times.
Mm-hmm. Very creative with a lot of some very funny moments too, like you'd expect. Consider that divorce. Or you think this is the real Quaid? It is. And he shoots him.
Oh yeah. After all, we're married. consider that a divorce.
Yeah.
Best divorce in my eyes.
That was beautiful. And
Yes.
it had some classic moments.
I think
like
that no, I'm not going to say that, especially on the internet. Nope.
Oh, the three-titted person.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Even though the effect is totally fake, nice pair or nice trio.
Like, on the subject of Total Recall, I just want to say that I hate the remake.
I have never seen the remake, and I never intend to.
Good. Like, that's something where, like, we can agree on. Because I saw it in theaters. I was so angry, like, that whole time. I'm like, God, this sucks. Like, instead of going to Mars for something fun and creative, they stay on Earth. What a waste of time. Like, I was so angry in that movie. But I love the original Total Recall. And, like, the ending, too, it's like you can interpret it in two ways. Like, he's really been dreaming the whole time, where it's all part of the mission. It's like, it kind of, like, gives you, like, wondering. But either way...
I take it as he was awakened from his dream, and he really did save Mars.
Yeah, that's the way I take it, too. But, like, they ended it perfectly. And, you know, I don't know, like, Total Recall is just a fantastic movie. Schwarzenegger's first 90s movie, I believe. So, like, it's one of the best movies of the 90s.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yep, 1990, just a great movie.
Then right after that, he did Terminator 2.
What a 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah. So my number 2, Commando.
Oh.
God damn, Commando is just a... Okay. Some will say it's not one of Arnold's best movies, and it may not be. I certainly do think it is. But I think it may be Arnold's most fun film. Just, if you want to see a movie where it's essentially a live-action adaptation of the movie Contra, just without all the sci-fi elements. If you want to see a movie with the ultimate one-man army, where this dude is just mowing down grunts left and right, not even getting scratched. Well, he gets scratched, but you know what I mean. Just shoots a whole bunch of dudes, causes a whole bunch of destruction, kicks all the ass, and just the movie doesn't really take itself too seriously. And it's just unabashedly fun. God damn, is Commando such a fun ride.
Oh,
kick-ass action scene after kick-ass action scene after kick-ass action scene after kick-ass action scene, and man, does it get one hell of a finale.
There is never a moment in that entire movie
where you're not bored. Or where you there's no moment in the movie where you are bored.
Exactly. It's one of the... I can't think of any other movie where it's just like... I mean, like, I've had movies I like more than Commando, but I'm like, Commando, I'm never bored at any point in the entire movie. It just moves along. It's...
Where are we going now? Shopping.
Where do we go now?
Shopping.
I could talk
John,
about
I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls. Let off some steam, Bennett.
Great.
to quote James Rolfe, in the 80s and 90s, nobody kicked as much ass and coined as many catchphrases as he did.
Facts. Just a simple fact.
Simple fact, yes. So what's your number 2?
Commando.
No.
The only one same lined up number we have on this list, but Commando, number 2. I mean, Commando is like one of my all-time favorite movies. It's never boring. It's ridiculous as all hell, but it is fun. Like
apparently there's been talks of a remake in the works with Sam Worthington as Arnold's character, and the movie would have a much more realistic approach.
Yeah.
As much as I do love Commando, I actually wouldn't. I am kind of curious about seeing that. I like Sam Worthington as an actor. Like, if you took the Sam Worthington persona like the badassery of Sam Worthington from Terminator Salvation and apply that to Commando, I think you'd have a good movie on your hands. One as good as the first Commando? No. But a good remake? Sure, if you really put your effort into it.
But part of the fun of Commando is it's set in the 80s. It's so over the top. It's so unrealistic.
But who gives a shit? That's why it's so cool.
It's one of those movies where, like, I don't care about realism. Arnold jumps out of a plane and you make a splash. He's somehow busting in this army surplus store that has fucking rocket launchers. He comes out of this thing unscathed. Takes an entire army by himself.
Where did you learn how to do that?
I read the instructions.
Oh, yeah. I think I fucking love Sully in the movie. Sully is such a slime ball. Like, he's a
Where is she, Sally?
Kiss my ass.
I can't hear you.
Say it a little louder than get fucked.
Your loyalty is very touching, but that is not the most important thing in your life right now. But what is important is gravity. And I have to remind you, Sally, this is my weak arm.
Can't kill me, Matrix. Need me to find your daughter. Where is she? I don't know. But Cook knows. I'll take you where I'm supposed to meet him. But you're not. Why not? Because I already know. Remember Sally when I promised to kill you last? That's right, Matrix. You did. Yeah. I lied.
Oh my god. One of my other favorites is, you fucking whore. Guy gets turned down. He calls him a fucking whore. Oh, the villains are so great. Vernon Wells is great as Bennett. I love the part where he breaks and fights Cook in the motel room. Next door, they're shooting a porno.
No, they weren't shooting a porno. They were just fucking.
They had the video camera on.
Well, maybe they're making a sex tape for themselves. But scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be. This green beret is gonna kick your big ass. I ate green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm really hungry. God damn, Commandos! It's a wonder that movie never got a video game. There's a movie called not a movie. There's a video game called Commando, but it has nothing to do with the movie.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what's funny about that movie? There was going to be a sequel. You know what that sequel turned into?
Die Hard.
Yep. Think about that.
Would have been cool, admittedly. And I actually would like to see a Commando sequel.
I would too. It's weird though, because you have like John Matrix, John Rambo, John McClane, John Wick. All these one-man armies are named John.
I don't like John Wick, so fuck you.
Oh, I love John Wick. I think it's great stuff. But, you know, that's another talk for the day. But
so John what's Matrix, your number one? You can go first.
Are you sure? Well, gee, which one haven't I named that I love so much?
Predator.
Number one, yep, Predator. Predator, to me, it's in my top 5 favorite films of all time. It's number 3. I fucking love every single moment of this movie.
You need to do, like, if you reach 500 subs, or when you reach 500 subs, you need to do my top 50 favorite films video.
Oh, Christ, that's gonna. I don't know how I can do it. Like, maybe top 5. I kind of got down pat.
No, no, not top 5. Too few.
It's too tough for me to choose.
I don't care. It was tough for me. It took me 3 weeks to figure out my top 100 favorite films, and it was worth it. Even though the videos no longer exist.
It's too hard for me to choose that list. I can get like the top 10, 20 in there, kind of.
Okay, then do it. Then do 20.
If I reach 500 by the end of the year, okay. But anyway, so I don't know what else I can really say about Predator. Great acting, great special effects, great musical score. It starts out as like one movie and kind of morphs into something else. The Predator is one of the best villains in cinema history. It's perfectly paced, unforgettable moments. There's some funny moments too. This is the most macho film ever made.
Yes.
I just love everything about this movie, and God damn it, I wanted Schwarzenegger to do another Predator movie. it's just killing me. Like if they would have just paid him $250,000 more, we would have gotten him in Predator 2.
Or given him a larger role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Predator. There's so many great moments in that movie. The handshake of all handshakes, the action sequences. All the characters.
You son of a bitch! What's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Huh?
Go easy on yourself, Dutch.
Had enough?
Okay, you win.
Never did know when to quit.
Yeah. Good to see you, Dutch. What is this fucking tie business?
Oh, come on. Forget about my tie, man. Also one of Carl Weathers' best movies, too.
Oh, yeah. Like, my favorite Carl Weathers movie is Predator. And then, you got the Rocky series.
My favorite Carl Weathers Rocky is definitely 3.
It's part of me kind of loves 4 because it's ridiculous in all montages, but I do like Rocky. I love all the Rocky movies except for 5. But
I like 5, so fuck you. Anyway, so my number 1. I just can't deny it anymore. My number 1 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is Terminator 2. It's one of the first movies I ever saw. It was the first of the Terminator series I ever saw. It's a movie that I can watch again and again and again, just never get tired of it. Specifically the director's cut. Fuck the theatrical version. I love Terminator 2. What can I say about the film that has not? Well, I actually, when I get around to reviewing Terminator 2, I'm gonna have a few things to say about the movie that I'm pretty sure no one's ever said about it. But anyway, it deserves all the praise and recognition that it gets. It is truly a masterpiece of cinema and is easily Arnold's best movie, and is still to this day my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Great movie. Great fucking movie.
Done. So, with that being said, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video with your friends. Check out Sean's channel. I'm sure
I got a video going up.
He's got some videos coming out. Yeah, apparently. Look forward to Saturday as Sean and I return to talk about the first movie in the Terminator series, of course, being The Terminator. And as always, go out and try to make friends with one of the biggest, baddest actors in all of Hollywood.
Hey, you have to say his line.
And of course,
Hasta
la vista, baby.